Okay, everybody, happy Monday. I thought I would just jump around a little bit. No one has given me any suggestions on what help they need. And I just thought, hey, you know what? Let's start with something that's really simple to learn. Something, and I am too, I want you to learn because it's going to help you for next year. We're going to convert between radians and degrees, okay? So here's the basic idea. We all know that a circle is 360 degrees if I go all the way around one time, right? If the radius is 1, that means when I do the circumference of the circle. Now remember, circumference means you go around the outside of the circle one time. Well, circumference is always 2 times pi times r. And if the radius is 1, I'll have 2 times pi times 1, which is 2 pi. So what we just figured out is 360 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi. And if I simplify this by dividing by 2, I know there's 180 degrees in 1 pi. Now this pi is called radians. It's a nice fancy word. Just remember, radians is just a different way of measuring angles and rotations and stuff, okay? So we have a conversion factor here. 180 is the same thing as pi. We also could say pi is the same thing as 180 degrees, okay? So now we can use that to convert between one and the other. So for example, I went ahead and I decide I use my phone just to get comfortable doing on the phone, since some of you are doing that. And if you're an IM3, I skipped a few pages. I clicked next here a few times. And finally, I came up with the section on trig functions and the unit circle. And notice there's a couple videos on radians and degrees of radians. And these are going to show you exactly what I'm going to do next. Okay? But I'm going to click on next one more time. And as you can see, after radians and degrees, there is a star, which means it's practice problems. So I went ahead and clicked on that. And, of course, I'm ready to do 4 questions on radians to degrees to radians. So on number 1, they gave me the theta, the angle, to be 14 pi over 9 radians. So let's write that down over here, 14 pi over 9 radians. Now they want us to convert it to degrees. Well, what I'm going to do is I know there's 180 degrees in 1 pi radians. That's my conversion factor. I know I'm doing it right because see how the pi's cancel out. Pi over pi is 1. Before I times these together, I know that 180 divided by 9 is simply 20. 180 divided by 9 is 20. And so now 20 times 14 is 280 degrees. So I type it in here, 280. I click check. I got it right. Pause the video if you need to. But what I just did was convert 14 pi over 9 radians, which is the same thing as 280 degrees. All right, this one they gave me the degrees, and we need to convert that into radians. That's what they want. So how do I do that? Well, let's write that down. 70 degrees. Now this time I'm going to flip over that conversion factor. Remember that 180 is the same thing as pi, and pi is the same thing as 180, right? And that's what we're going to use here. So I know there's pi radians and 180 degrees. How do I know I did it right? Well, notice how the degrees over the degrees cancel out, and I'm left with pi radians. So what I have is really 70 pi over 180. I'm going to divide by 10 to cancel out the zeros. So I have 7 pi over 18 radians. And here's something again, one of the reasons why I want to do Khan Academy, because you have to get good at typing these in on like the computer. And so once I clicked on this box, this little sub menu popped up. And to get 7 pi over 18, what I do is press the fraction button. And then this showed up like this. I typed in 7 and notice the pi button. So I typed in 7 and pi. So I did 7 pi. And then notice down here, this button, when I press it, what it does is it shifts down to here. And then I was able to type in 1/8 for 18. And that's how you type it in. But guys, see, you need to practice with your phone or hopefully with a computer or a tablet with this, because I want you to get good at entering answers like this using a computer or electronic device. Anyways, I click check, I got it right. Next one, they gave me radians. 9 pi over 5 radians. We want to convert it to degrees. Now remember, there's 180 degrees in pi radians. Now how do I know I did this right? See how I have pi over pi canceling out, and the only thing left is degrees. Now, I didn't have a calculator available. You're able to, however, click on this if you're on a computer or tablet, but all I did was I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take 180 divided by 5 first. And I could divide by 5 like that, and I get 36. 180 divided by 5 is 36. So 36 times 9, that's that right there. 54 carried to 5 is 324 degrees. I click the check button below. Bingo, I got it right. Let's do one more. This time they gave me degrees. If I'm given 35 degrees, how do I change that to radians? Is I know pi radians is 180 degrees. Now, why did I set it up this way? Because I want the degrees to cancel out. And now I just have 35 pi over 180. Again, I don't have the calculator with me to help me out. But I can divide by 5. Again, if you have the calculator, just divide by 5, you get 7. Divide 180 by 5, you get 36 again. So I'm going to type in 7 pi over 36. Now, how do I do that again? I use this fraction button, and then this pops up. The cursor's in here. I type in my 7, my pi. Boom, they pop up in there. I press this button, it shifts it down to here, and then of course I type in 3 with a 6 for 36. I click check, I got it right. Now was that 3 or 4 problems? Let's find out. Oh, there we go. I got 4 out of 4 right, and I'm basically done. Now guys, once you click done, it's going to pop you back to the main screen here. Or it should. Anyways, we just did this one right here. I just want to point out the next one I would do if I was IM3 is try the unit circle one. Okay? See what you can do on that. You don't have to do the videos, right? Just do the practice problems. Notice down at the bottom here I also have notes I can do, as well as another set of practice problems there. So focus on the practice problems and the notes, guys. And then whenever you need help, just let me know. Because some of these videos, they're good. I like Mr. Khan, but some of you guys don't like Mr. Khan. And if you don't like his videos, let me know what video I need to make to help you do better on these. Okay? I was just making sure I didn't have anything else. So guys, that is how you do radians to degrees and degrees to radians. Okay? And hopefully you're not using your phone if you can't help it, but of course use your phone. As I just proved to you, you can make it work. You may have to use a calculator of your own. If you're using the phone, it doesn't show up. At least on mine it doesn't. So anyways, I'll try to keep myself going and help you keep going, guys. But just like I did, bounce around. You don't have to go in order on every single assignment I gave you. Okay? So keep that in mind, and let me know whatever you need help with. Email me, especially if you email me at wcormsby@gmail.com. That one I check like at least 5 to 10 times every day. So, hope to hear from you and see you around, guys. Take care.